Hello there, Year 3, and welcome to Week 4 Comprehension. So, this week we're going to be starting off with a new text called Son of the Sea. And as usual, for the first part, I'm going to read you the text, and then we're going to go back through the questions and see how we can achieve full marks for each answer. So, here we go. Son of the Sea. For 2 long, silent hours, Duncan slouched beside his dad as their battered old car bumped and bounced along the dark track. All the time, the wind howled like a hungry phantom as it hurled an endless supply of frozen rain at their windscreen. Not exactly how Duncan had planned on spending his 10th birthday. He had wanted to hang out with Callum, Rajesh and Sky. But no. Dad had said he had something special planned. This was weird even for Dad. Not that Duncan didn't love his father dearly. Of course he did. Since his mum had left them when he was just a baby, the pair of them had stuck together. He still wished he was with his friends though. Maybe next year, he muttered to himself as the car finally stopped. Stop your mumbling and get yourself into the car, son, grunted Dad. Where are we? Asked the boy. I'll tell you when we're out of the wind, said Dad. Now don't forget your hat. Stepping out of the car was like disappearing into a pitch-black tornado. Like an iron fist, his father's hand appeared from the gloom and guided him around the car. They kept pushing forwards against an invisible pressure, like a night dragon's breath, but eventually Dad guided Duncan to safety. They crouched out of the wicked wind's reach. You're 10 now, son, Dad called in his ear. In your culture, that means you're an adult. So she wants to congratulate you. An adult? Spluttered Duncan. My culture? Who's she? Hush now, his father yelled excitedly, pointing. Look, there she is. The full moon had painted everything in its silvery light, so Duncan could see the beach quite clearly. There, on a rock, just out to sea, sat a seal. A magnificent, glimmering seal. But still, just a seal. It's a seal, said Duncan flatly. Go on, cried Dad. Take your boots and socks off and paddle out to her. Duncan's mouth opened and closed silently a few times before he managed to respond. What? It was true that Duncan did love swimming. It was also true that he loved spending time in the sea so much that his dad called him the son of the sea. But paddling into a stormy sea in the middle of February night? No way. You trust me, don't you, son? Asked Dad, placing his big hands on his son's shoulders. Duncan gulped, then nodded. Then go to her. Duncan found himself doing as he was told. He was soon waddling like a penguin onto the freezing sand. The seal just stared at him. What was he doing? Somehow he kept going. Then, as soon as his numb toes touched the icy waters, the seal glowed silver, then white. It was a blinding, blazing white that was too bright to look at. Duncan stumbled backwards and collapsed onto the sand. When he looked up, all he could see was an empty seal skin lying on the rock in the water. Then he noticed a silent silver figure beside him. She laid a misty hand on his shoulder and smiled. Happy birthday, my son, she whispered. And there we go, that's the text. So we're now going to go through the questions and, as usual, try and see how we can achieve full marks for each one. So here we go, vocabulary section to begin as usual. Question number 1. Look at the first paragraph. Find and copy the word that means ghost. Look at the first paragraph, find and copy the word that means ghost. So we're going to look back through the text, here we go. It's usually, again, question 1's just a little tip. Question 1's are usually at the beginning of the text. That's usually how comprehensions are structured, but we're still going to just start from the top and glance through. So we're looking for a word that means the same thing as ghost. So for 2 long silent hours, Duncan slouched beside his dad as their battered car bumped and bounced. All the time the wind howled like a hungry phantom as it hurled an endless supply of frozen rain at their windscreen. So there we go. The answer should be, if you're looking for the word that means the same as ghost, a hungry phantom. So you could have written a hungry phantom or hungry phantom. I personally have just written phantom. That's the word that means the same as ghost. It says find and copy the word. So phantom is the actual answer. So you just need the word. So it's just one word. Phantom is the one that gets you the mark. Question 2. Which word below could have been used to describe Duncan's car? Tick 1. Which word below could have been used to describe Duncan's car? Tick 1. So we've got new, shabby, smart, and crispy. So which word could have been used to describe Duncan's car? So we're going to look back through the text and see if we can find a word that describes Duncan's car. So I'm going to be looking for a word that is car, and if I see anything around car, any adjectives to describe car, I'm going to link it back to what I've seen. So here we go. For 2 long silent hours, Duncan slouched upon his dad as their battered old car. There we go. Bumped and bounced along the dark track. So their battered old car. So something that means the same as battered and old. So does that mean new? Nope. Does it mean shabby? Sounds like it, but let's check the others. Does it mean smart? Definitely not. Does it mean crispy? No. It means shabby. Okay, shabby is the same thing as old. That's what I'm going for. It's shabby. Okay. Question number 3. He had wanted to hang out with Callum, Rajesh and Sky. What does the phrase hang out with mean in this sentence? He had wanted to hang out with Callum, Rajesh and Sky. What does the phrase hang out with mean in this sentence? So hopefully we have seen enough American TV to know what hang out with means. But again, if you were unsure, I'd read back through the actual sentence and see what it means. So to hang out with is right there in the question. Basically, to hang out with is another way of saying that you were to spend time with someone, okay, to spend time with. So that's literally what I wrote. I put to spend time with. You could have also had other answers I put were hang around with. You could have had relax with, or be with, or play with. Anything like that is basically what hang out with means. Okay, so any of those would get you the mark. Right, retrieval, question number 4. So remember, retrieval means we take something from the text and pull it out, and that's what's going to go into our answer. So what are we going to see here? Question number 4, what did Duncan say when the car stopped? What did Duncan say when the car stopped? So I need to find, well, I'm going to look back through the text. What am I going to look for? I'm looking for something about the car stopping, aren't I? Okay, so something about the car stopping. Can I find the car stopped? I'm just going to skim read through this to see, because I know they weren't actually stopping at the beginning. They were driving at the beginning. It's going to be somewhere a bit lower down. There it is. So maybe next year, he muttered to himself as the car finally stopped. There we go. So what did Duncan say? Duncan says, so stop your mumbling, get yourself to the car, son granted dad. Where are we? Asked the boy. There it is. Where are we is the answer. So question 4, literally you should be writing where are we with the inverted commas at either side. That will get you the full mark there. That's the literally parts of speech. So we're going to copy exactly as it is in the text. It says where are we with the question mark because it's a question. All of that will get you the mark. Okay, where are we? Question number 5. Question 5 is, what does Duncan's dad ask him to remember? What does Duncan's dad ask him to remember? So I'm looking for the word remember. So it's going to be where they stopped. There we go. It's directly after it. Where are we? Asked the boy. I'll tell you when we're at the wind, said his dad. Now don't forget your hat. So what does he need to remember? His hat. Okay, literally I've written his hat. That's the answer. He needs to remember his hat. Right, question number 6. In which month was Duncan's birthday? In which month was Duncan's birthday? So I'm going to be looking for a month and something about birthday. Okay, so one little trick again to remember that all months are actually written with what at the beginning? Can you remember? What's a month always written with? That's right, it's written with a capital letter at the start, okay? A capital letter at the beginning of the month. So I am looking for the month of his birthday. Where is the month of his birthday? Oh, just see it there. It's a little bit lower down. So, but paddling in a stormy sea in the middle of a February night. There we go, right there, February night. So we know it's his birthday now. His birthday is in February. There we go, that's the answer, February. Okay, question number 7. Looking at inference ones now. So this is where we need to think. We can't quite drag from the text and just copy it down. We need to actually use what we've read and apply it. So when Duncan got out of the car, why was it like disappearing into a pitch black tornado? When Duncan got out of the car, why was it like disappearing into a pitch black tornado? So let's have a look. I'm actually going to find that bit in the text if I can. So when he says disappearing into a pitch black tornado, can I find There it is. So, yes, right there at the beginning of the line it says, stepping out of the car was like disappearing into a pitch-black tornado. Like an iron fist, his father's hand appeared from the gloom as he guided his father around the car. Right, so, why, what's the question? When Duncan got out of the car, why was it like disappearing into a pitch-black tornado? So it's going to be something to do with the weather, isn't it? So, here's what I put. Because it was really dark and windy outside. Because basically all the weather has been described that way, hasn't it? So yeah, because it was really dark and windy outside. Because we know that because we know how cold it is when Duncan's actually walking out to the sea. We know he's freezing, and he can't believe his dad's asking him to take off his shoes and start paddling out. So yeah, that's what I put. So it was really dark and windy outside. Okay, question 8. Question 8. After Dad says, then go to her, how do we know that Duncan does as he is told without thinking? After Dad says, then go to her, how do we know that Duncan does as he was told without thinking? So, we need to find that bit in the text, don't I? I need to find when Dad is saying, then go to her. So I'm going to look for that. There it is, right at the bottom. It's almost indented, so then go to her. What does it say directly underneath that? Duncan found himself doing as he was told. So, that's definitely going to give us the answer then, isn't it? So, how do we know that Duncan did what he was told without thinking? Here's my answer. I wrote, because Duncan found himself, and I put in a quote, doing as he was told, then Duncan went to her. So literally, because it says there, because Duncan found himself doing as he was told, I've literally taken that from the text this time to support my answer, and then I've said, then Duncan went to her. So that is literally explained. How do we know Duncan does as he was told? Because it says it in the text, doesn't it? It literally says it directly. Okay, so question 9. Question 9 is, then he noticed a silent silver figure beside him. Who is this figure? Explain how you know. So this is part of the mystery of the text here. So if you were wondering who this might be. So, who is this figure? Right, so hopefully you were able to identify what the figure actually says to him at the very last line of the text. What does she say to him? Look at the very end of the text. It says, happy birthday, my son, she whispered. So, using your brains, what does that obviously make this silent figure? If she's saying, my son, it must be his mother, mustn't it? Okay, it must be his mother. So who is this figure? It's his mother. So explain how you know. Here's what I wrote. Explain how you know. I said, first of all, his mother, and explain how you know. I know that the silent figure is his mother because she whispers, happy birthday, my son. So as you can see, I've literally used the text to support my answer. I'll say it again. I know that the silent figure is his mother because she whispers, happy birthday, my son. So I've literally proved that I know it's his mother, okay, using the evidence from the text. Right, summarising, question 10. Using the whole text, tick one box in each row to show whether each statement is true or false. So again, we've got another one of these sort of questions, so we need to read the statements and see if we think they are true or false, and we're going to find evidence to support our answers, just to make sure that we know we are ticking the right one. We're never going to guess on these ones. We're going to use the text, find the evidence, and make sure we know it's right. So what's the first one say? Duncan wanted to go on a long drive for his birthday. So can I find something about Duncan wanting to go for a long drive on his birthday? Or if it's not true, is there something that says something otherwise about him going on a long drive? So I can remember at the beginning that he wanted to hang out with his friends, which doesn't seem true, but yet it says right there, he had wanted to hang out with Callum, Rajesh and Sky, but no, Dad had said he had something special planned. So he wanted to hang out with his friends, didn't he? He didn't want to go for this drive, so that one is false. That is false, isn't it? He didn't want to go for this drive, he actually wanted to hang out with his friends, so that one is false. Right, what's the next one? It was a wet, stormy night. It was a wet, stormy night. So, can I find evidence to support that? I'm pretty sure, again, I do know because I know what he was doing, but can I find the evidence just to back myself up? Yeah, but paddling in a stormy sea in the middle of a February night is a stormy sea, so we know it's a wet, stormy night. That's literally the evidence there. So, yep, that one is true. And the last one, Duncan usually loved spending time in the sea. How do I know if that's true or false? Duncan usually loved spending time in the sea. There it is, the evidence right there. It was true that Duncan did love swimming. It was also true that he loved spending time in the sea so much that his dad called him the son of the sea. So yes, that one is definitely true. That line right there proves the point. It is definitely correct. So that one should be false, true, true. Okay, question 11. Predict. Predict why Duncan's mother left him when he was a baby. Predict why Duncan's mother left him when he was a baby. So your prediction needs to try and link into the text in some way, okay? So here's what I've put. I've put a few different predictions here because there could be lots of different answers. I can't really just read you one. So I've got several different versions of what you could have as the answer. So here's some predictions I've got as possible predictions, okay? You could say that she left him because she belonged to the ocean. She left him because she was a water spirit. She left him because she needed her seal skin, because we know that she was a seal on the beach. She left him because she wanted to spend time in the sea. She left him because she missed other seals. Or she left him because she couldn't survive on dry land. So anything to do with those, okay, anything like that will get you the mark. So if you've got something different and you want me to double check, do just leave me a comment on your picture, or just drop me a message and I can have another look at it for you and see if I agree or disagree. Because yeah, prediction ones, they can sort of be a bit more teacher judgment as well as following the mark scheme. Right, question 12. Compare. Read the passage. Hush now, his father yelled excitedly, pointing. Look, there she is. It's a seal, said Duncan flatly. Go on, cried Dad. Take your boots and socks off and paddle out to her. Duncan's mouth opened and closed silently a few times before he managed to respond. What? Duncan and Dad react differently to seeing the seal. How does Duncan react? Tick 1. Duncan and Dad react differently to seeing the seal. How does Duncan react? So tick 1. So is it he is more excited, he is more scared, he is happier, or he is less excited? So we're comparing how Duncan is feeling about seeing the seal compared to how Dad is feeling when he sees the seal. So is he more excited? Is he more scared? Is he happier? Or is he less excited than Dad? Okay, so I'm going to read back through that passage again, just see if I can have a think. So think about the last thing it says, the last line of that sentence says, Duncan's mouth opened and closed silently a few times before he managed to respond. What? Okay, so is he more excited than Dad? I don't think so at all. He's definitely not more excited. Is he more scared? So is he scared? So he's going, what? Doesn't seem scared to me. He's happier. I don't know, because Dad seemed quite positive about it before. He's really excited to take him out, wasn't he? Okay, so don't think so. It seems to be the last one there. He is less excited. He's less excited than Dad, isn't he? So that's the one I'd tick. He is less excited. Okay, so that's the last question. So well done, everyone. That's the end of set A for the comprehension questions. So tune in tomorrow. We will have set B of the questions on this text. So take care, and I will see you then.